Why should Wind Creek Hospitality be chosen to bring a world-class resort casino to Richmond? In short, because this isn't just about picking a casino, but about picking a partner. While every proposal will bring jobs and tax dollars in the short term, only the right partnership will strengthen Richmond for decades to come.
We meet a lot of different companies, all around the world. And every now and then we find a company that's unique.
Everything that they've ever promised to our community has been delivered upon, and even more.
And I haven't found one time that I've worked with Wind Creek that they didn't back their word up. And I think that's a lot to me.
Wind Creek doesn't just build casinos. Wind Creek builds communities. Our promise is this: we will always do it right.
These are easy words to say, but expensive, time-consuming, and difficult to truly realize. It means investment, but more important, it means reinvestment in people, in community, in excellence. Not just at the beginning or in the good times, but constantly. Wind Creek Hospitality is that kind of company and that kind of partner.
We know what it means to be left behind.
I think Wind Creek gets it. It's come through the struggle. It gives them the insight that allows it to do other things that other companies simply can't do because they have not gone through the struggle.
The Indians were associated with poverty. And we were looked upon as ignorant and a burden on society. And yet once we were able to gain access to education, we were able to run with it. And the thing is, we were still the same people. What was the real issue there? It was opportunity.
They don't take, they give. And I think that comes back from where they came from. They lit the interstate out here. It's something we couldn't get done, but they got it done. They've paved streets in Atmore. They supported our hospital, put a new roof on it when it needed it so bad. They bought x-ray machines. If we couldn't raise enough money, they finished them out. And those things are not cheap, but they bought them.
They're connected to the basic fiber of the community.
When they came here, that we were a little hesitant about a new operator. And what we've seen is that Wind Creek really cares about our community here in Bethlehem. Our previous operator was more Vegas-driven, and this is more community toward Bethlehem-driven, which the people of Bethlehem think is fantastic.
We recently bought some new police cars, and if I would have needed assistance, I'm sure I could have made that call to the management team here to say, hey, we have a deficit here that we need to make up in acquiring these police cars.
We all have each other's phone numbers, and we know how to get in touch with each other. So to me, it's pretty straightforward. Pick up a phone.
Wind Creek Hospitality is now one of the most respected brands in the gaming industry, both tribal and state regulated. With a gaming portfolio that includes 6 AAA 4-diamond casino resorts in Alabama, Pennsylvania, and the Caribbean. We're known for our conservative financial strategy and for heavily reinvesting profits into property renovations and upgrades. In fact, we've reinvested more than $360 million into our resort casino properties in the past 8 years alone, with another $160 million scheduled for 2021.
We funded almost all of Wind Creek Wetumpka out of cash flow. The expansion at Wind Creek Montgomery out of cash flow. We went in and acquired 2 beautiful resorts in the Caribbean and Aruba and Curacao out of cash flow. Much to our lender's chagrin, we've aggressively paid down debt, even in the Pennsylvania project in Bethlehem.
We keep our properties world class. And that requires a lot of capital reinvestment. We don't want rundown properties, and nor do our customers, and I think that gives us an advantage.
And they're not stopping. You would think, because other casino operators have, well, because of COVID, we can't operate and we're not going to do the futuristic things that need to be done to make this even a better site. They're on track, they're doing it, and I'm proud of them.
We're in the business to acquire and grow. We don't sell. So if we're there with Richmond, we're going to be a long-time partner. We're going to be there for as long as they want us there. Others will come and go, but we'll be a partner for life.
And I'll assure you that if they say they're going to be there in 20 years, they will be there in 20 years.
Wind Creek's sound financial strategy means we're an asset to our communities and partners, even during the toughest storms. When the pandemic came, some entertainment properties resisted even basic safety precautions. Others just did the minimum the law mandated. We did it right.
The Wind Creek standard. Put simply, if we aren't comfortable inviting our family and friends through our doors and comfortable with our guests going home to our friends and families, communities, we won't be open.
We considered the impact on all of the people who live with or work with our guests or team members, community members who might never even walk through our doors. Despite facing unprecedented property closures and uncertainty, our values weren't just visible on our website, but on our balance sheet and in our actions.
And I hear from some of my colleagues from other operators throughout the state that they're not as happy. In fact, during COVID, there was a commitment by Wind Creek to give the community their local share of money. That was part of the legislation that we passed years ago. And it seems like some other operators just aren't doing it, and they're not as responsive to the community.
We donated in excess of $1.2 million to food banks, COVID relief organizations, schools, hospitals, and other critical community programs. Across all properties, we paid more than $42 million in full-time salaries, benefits, and payroll tax while we were closed, despite having no legal obligation to do so.
We're always open to call Wind Creek, and we're never going to get the assistance that we need. They care about equity, they care about diversity, and they care about assisting the community to become better.
They're just very generous in everything they do, and it's really more thoughtful than trying to get any publicity out of it. They just go about it very quietly, which I think even makes it more special.
They are leading by example, putting positive pressure on the other tourism operators on the island to also step up with their employee loyalty, but also with their social activism by helping us helping those in need, especially during the COVID-19 crisis.
We feel a deep responsibility to do it right for our communities, our team members, and our guests, even when the law might allow us to do things a different way.
Gaming should be fun, but it should also be socially responsible. Before we even built our first casino, we established a relationship with the National Council for Problem Gaming. And we set up a hotline for anybody that might need help.
Plus, we custom developed a player tracking system, allowing us to intervene and prevent guests who have been banned from one of our properties from playing at any of them, a critical step toward getting them the help they deserve.
And there were no requirements to provide it. And we didn't do it because we had to. We did it because it was the right thing to do. And I take a lot of pride in that.
A world-class resort casino requires a clear vision, a special location, and a relentless commitment to developing talent and the community. Wind Creek Richmond will feature the largest and most exciting casino floor of all proposals, along with a wide range of dining and recreational options, and a hotel experience that will draw tourists from throughout the region. Ours is the only proposal that includes an entertainment center, bringing family-friendly activities like a movie theater, bowling and arcade games to a part of the city that's underserved by these kinds of amenities. Property construction will create more than 3,000 direct jobs and $192 million in labor income, with more to come as we aggressively expand and update the resort. Located just 7 minutes from downtown and just off I-95, Wind Creek Richmond will be easily accessible with zero new traffic impact to nearby communities.
It has the potential to be extremely beneficial. I mean, you could literally be in an area where you're giving back to people who might not even have the option to have a job, aren't as able to get to a job, so they're on the bus line. But if the employer, the casino head, doesn't have that vision, then I think it's, yeah, just another corporate whatever.
We can't wait to bring more than 1,500 Richmond citizens into the Wind Creek family, not just offering great jobs and an average salary of over $51,000, but even greater opportunity to flourish and grow. With a unique company culture that finds and rewards the best talent, no matter where you come from.
When you come through poverty and you've had challenges, you're sympathetic. So when you see a person who may not have all the things that you think they should have, you can look at yourself and say, you know, that was me.
I am proof that anybody can learn our industry because that's where I started, at square one.
This is the first property that I've worked at that has an incentive program that's for everybody, not just the director level or not just the management level, but it's for everybody.
I think the best thing working here at Wind Creek is it helps you unlock that inner greatness that we all have.
They gave me the opportunity to be the general manager here, and I have worked for companies for a long, long time. Even though I love them, they never put me in that spotlight or that role. So I think right there shows the diversity that Wind Creek has, because they didn't think twice about, asking me to step into that role.
Our diverse and equitable workforce is filled with people from underserved, marginalized communities, and 91% of team members are in full-time roles.
Our focus on full-time employment is definitely intentional, and I have no doubt that we're going to continue to do that, wherever we are.
51% of our employees are minorities. 52% are female. And at the supervisory level, 44% are female and 43% are minorities.
I came down to Wind Creek years ago, and I watched very carefully in terms of the interaction, what type of role minorities play within the organization. And I had a chance to witness what I consider to be something very unique from my experience with corporate America. We think they're a game changer.
It moves me that I'm able to know that I'm providing more for my children now, than I have. And that they will never need in the way that we did when we were kids.
We're not just building a business. We're creating opportunity. We're building communities. We're strengthening families. And I just don't see too many companies doing that.
This is a critical choice. Every proposal will bring short-term tax dollars, so it's important to focus on what really matters. This is about the difference between a momentary but fleeting windfall and a decision that brings a strong and committed new partner to Richmond, Virginia for decades to come.
Most of the companies can build a great casino, but at the end of this whole journey, it's really about, can they embrace the community? I think that you have a really sincere partner, a partner who gets it, a partner who's going to do more than just talk, is going to build stronger communities. And that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, a stronger, better community for everyone.
So, who will build what they say they'll build? Who can you trust to support the community the way they say they will? Not just this year or next year, but every year. Wind Creek Hospitality is that partner in every community we serve, and we would be honored to be that partner for you. We don't just build casinos, we build communities. So let's do it together, and let's do it right.